And now on the line is Derek Corr, and Derek works with Dzogchen Beara Buddhist Centre in Cork. Derek, welcome to the programme.
Thanks for having me, Darren.
Okay, Derek, can you tell our listeners, most of whom are in Dublin, what Dzogchen Beara is and about the history of the centre, please?
Sure. Well, Dzogchen Beara is a Buddhist retreat centre down in southwest Ireland on the Beara Peninsula. And we are a retreat centre offering different events and meditation retreats throughout the year. We also offer accommodation so people can come and stay with us as well. And we have a sweet little cafe as well and bookshop that has lovely views over the Atlantic Ocean. So we're very lucky that the centre is situated high up on the cliffs of the Beara Peninsula. I'm sure a lot of your listeners would know that part of the world because we get a lot of people from Dublin that come down. And I think a lot of people would feel that it's almost a pilgrimage just making the trek from Dublin down to that part of the world. It must be one of the furthest away reaches from Dublin, I'd say, in kilometres. So the centre sits up high on the cliffs overlooking Bantry Bay. It's incredible scenery and a very beautiful natural environment, and really the perfect place for meditation and having some time out or some retreat or, just getting away from it all.
Yeah, I've seen some photographs of your centre and the area in general. It looks like a beautiful place. And you have some great facilities. You mentioned you have a cafe. You have some great facilities in general in the centre, don't you?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, I mean, we have our cafe, of course, and but then we have different types of accommodation as well that people can use. So, for example, we have 3 self-catering cottages. They're all with ocean views that people can come actually to stay on our events. People stay in our cottages. Sometimes as well, people just rent them for themselves, People can come and just visit and stay in the cottages. We also have a farmhouse hostel, which is opening actually just next week again, because that has been closed during COVID. But we're delighted that that's opening again. So the hostel is a little bit more budget accommodation that we have on site. We've got a male and a female dormitory, and we've got a private room, and there's a family room in there with a couple of beds. And then at the moment it's closed, but we also have our spiritual care center down there, which is a place where people can come for. It's like a sanctuary that was created really for people of any walks of life, and you don't have to be Buddhist or even religious actually to come and use any of our facilities. So the care center was really built as a supportive environment for people living with long-term illness. And then we're building a temple as well at the moment. So there's a lot of activity down there at the moment. So we're building a Tibetan Buddhist temple. So this would be built in a traditional style of Tibetan monastery. So
that's cool, yeah. Yeah. The campaign for the temple is going on a couple of years, isn't it?
That's right, yeah. The project first began back in 2008, really, but then it stopped because of the downturn in the economy. So it kind of reignited again in 2015. So we've been really working hard on fundraising for that over the past few years, and we're very, very close now. We've been, thanks to the generosity of so many people all around the world, just everyday people. We haven't had any particular funding from any institutions or governments. It's all been from public generosity. We've managed to raise almost 4 million euros for the building. We still have a little bit more to raise now to be able to open the temple, which hopefully the end of this year, beginning of next year, we'll actually be able to open it and have it completed. That's very exciting.
Yeah, am I right in saying that the initial plan for Dzogchen Beara goes back, the initial talk about it goes back to the 70s or 80s?
That's right. I mean, the story of Dzogchen Beara is really a fascinating story, and anybody who's interested in reading about it, I'd highly recommend the founder of Dzogchen Beara wrote a book called Dazzled by Daylight. His name is Peter Cornish. And it was actually an amazing story of Peter and his wife Harriet, who came over from the UK in search of a place that they could create a kind of a spiritual home for people of all traditions. And they came across 150 acres of rugged farmland, which was very little on the land at the time. And from there, they started to develop and build, literally build. Peter built a lot of the buildings himself with local help, to build up the center. And then in an incredible act of generosity, they donated all the land to a Tibetan Buddhist trust called Rigpa. And so ever since then, it's been a registered charity whose aim is to offer these teachings, these meditation teachings of wisdom and compassion, which come from Buddhism to the world, and especially to Ireland.
Mm. Do you have to be a Buddhist to work at the centre, Derek?
No, not at all. I mean, some of us are, and some of us are interested in Buddhism and meditation specifically, but others are not actually. We've got a really mixed team on site, and we all work together and live together. There's some of us live on site and some of us live nearby. Some of us have families and kids, and so there's a real mix, real modern feel, I would say. It's a very modern feel of community living down in West Cork. We're connected to the centre, and even to visit. I mean, you don't have to be a Buddhist. You don't even really have to have much experience with meditation. So we offer many different types of retreats during the year and events, free meditation on site and online. So I suppose our mission really is to just bring what is something very, very natural and a gift to the world, we might say, of these teachings of meditation for people to explore it at their own level if they wish.
Mm. Okay, and who apart from your staff is your centre aimed at, Derek?
Oh, anybody can come and visit. So anything from dropping in for a delicious latte or a tea or lunch, people can just pop in. Sometimes we say, you can come for an hour, a day, or a week. So it really is. It's we always try and extend a very warm, very open-hearted welcome to everybody. So whether you're just popping in, even go for a walk and see the views. We see people coming in all the time just to take photos and selfies because there's a really stunning view there on the peninsula of Beara overlooking the ocean. But sometimes people come as well, they're particularly interested in meditation or in compassion or in kindness or in some other aspect of spirituality that they want to develop through our courses. So, yeah, anybody can come, and I'd recommend it.
Okay, yeah, I'll come down at some stage. What makes yourselves in Dzogchen Beara think that, Derek, that Buddhism is something that people in Ireland might like to develop an interest in?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. I think before people might have become interested in things like meditation or Buddhism, it might have come out of maybe they didn't have any other options. Maybe they reached a difficult point in their lives, or maybe someone suggested they might have been, doing therapy or something, or somebody suggested, hey, you should try meditation. So I think that was more in the past, but I think these days meditation is a word that we use more commonly. I think traditions like the mindfulness movement have become far more popular. I think even in schools these days, there's a lot of well-being programs. And we are actually working with one of the local schools at the moment, teaching kids about meditation, calming the mind, and kindness. So I think in our society today, we're definitely more attuned, more in touch with that side of things. In fact, there's a growing group of people that might consider themselves, especially among young people, maybe they're more spiritual but not religious. So I think there's definitely a lot of what we naturally do in our center of trying to make the meditation and teachings of Buddhism available to the general public if they wish. So I think there's definitely a need we can meet there for this growing interest in things like mindfulness, in kindness, in people that are interested in deepening their understanding.
Yeah, I personally have a couple of books by the current Dalai Lama, and I've an interest in Zen Buddhism as well. You know, I think they're brilliant. You know.
Oh, very good. Yeah.
Okay, Derek, could you tell me a bit more about the events you have in the centre over the next couple of months, as well as maybe a bit about a couple of past events you've had in the centre that really stand out to you?
Sure, Darren. So I think for any information about the centre, probably the best place to check is our website. So you can check it, dzogchenbeara.org. It's DZOGCHEN BEAORA.org, dzogchenbeara.org. So we have, I suppose, two different programs we're running at present. We have on-site events. So after COVID, now we're getting back into the flow of offering more and more on-site events. So just to give you a flavor of the kinds of on-site events, we do meditation events. Our next meditation event it's fully booked. Actually, it's at the end of this month. We also are offering a Tibetan yoga course on site. There's two of those coming up in April. We also have an Easter retreat coming up called Take Charge of Your Mind, which sounds like a good idea these days. That's happening around the Easter period, so it's a long weekend retreat. We also have a really interesting walking retreat. So this is contemplative walking or walking meditation. So we have two of those coming up in May and then at the end of the summer in August. So that's a very popular retreat. You can imagine mixing meditation and walking in the Beara Peninsula is really beautiful. We also have another week-long meditation retreat called Peaceful Mind, Loving Heart. So that's for people particularly interested in meditation and developing kindness, or what we call loving kindness meditation.
Okay.
So yeah, and just to say, we have some online program as well that's worth checking out. And every week we offer 2 free online meditations, Tuesday morning and Thursday morning, from 9:30 a.m. to 10:15 a.m. So it's a 45-minute free meditation that anybody can join on Zoom. So again, all the information about that is online. And just to answer your other question about a big event, I suppose I'm taken back to the opening of our spiritual care center back in 2007 when Mary McAleese came and opened it. It was a really big event with lots of dignitaries and visitors for that event. And so that's one that sticks out in my mind in terms of events.
Okay, Derek, I think you might already answer this question as regards your website, but to come towards the end of the interview, what is the best way to visit for our listeners to visit the centre to get a guided tour of it, Derek, so people can judge, our listeners can judge whether staying at the centre is something that appeals to them?
Sure. I mean, what you'll find when you come to Dzogchen Beara is there's no gate. So people can very freely just drive in and have a walk around. So that's what I would recommend that people do. If they're down in West Cork, in this part of the world, then if they're around the Beara Peninsula, they can pop in. There's so many other great spots on the Beara Peninsula. You've got the copper mines in Allihies. You've got the cable car down at Dursey, Castletownbere, Iries. There's so many great places to visit anyway in the area. And you can pop into the centre. You know, we've got ample parking. The cafe is open daily, all year round. You can take a walk down to the meditation garden. You'll be able to see the temple building and see all the different buildings. You can visit. You can even light candles, visit the meditation room. So just coming in and having a wander around, it's a very easy place to wander and just find your own way. And I'd highly recommend anybody come down and check it out for themselves. The proof is in the pudding.